Bitcoin is crashing again as FUD has ramped up with China banning crypto once again, Microstrategy and Tether FUD making the rounds. And Elon Musk is talking about Bitcoin and crypto once again. I think this is a good sign. I'll give you the details. Let's get into it. Hey folks, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as a thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, at the time of recording, Bitcoin back below $90,000, big red candle on the chart here. And this is the volatility we've been talking about, right? That this would not be a straight line up. We're not going to see a big V-shaped recovery here. It's going to be a slow, steady grind, and we need more confirmation. This is why we don't get too excited, even though we were seeing a reversal. Now, this honestly looks just like a retest to me. Obviously, we'll have to let it play out to see how far down it goes. But Bitcoin's RSI is still off that oversold zone, and this just looks like a retest before we continue. On the daily, the bulls are back in control. The MACD shows that. So again, when you look at these complementary data points, it shows that, okay, this is just a retest. And it's funny, it's happening the day before the Fed ends quantitative tightening, right? Tomorrow, officially, the Fed ends quantitative tightening. Now, for the stock market, we're continuing to see positive signs with the S&P 500 making its way up, as well as the NASDAQ. So let's see how the stock market plays out this week. If it breaks the all-time high, because that's going to be very good for crypto. And in fact, silver made a new high today of over $58, so it continues to move. It is approaching the overbought zone, so we can expect a pullback, but this is still very good. Gold is also moving, and we're waiting to see if that's going to break all-time highs, because these things have been happening over the past 2 years, with gold being a leading indicator, the stock market, and then crypto followed. Now, with crypto specifically, there is a lot of FUD. I mean, it's funny how these things start to pop up when the price is down, right? A lot of times short sellers are putting out narratives. They're putting out articles and much more because they're trying to short and get people to sell. They want as much fear as possible. Now, in one way, that's good because it allows the market to reset, right? When you hit that oversold extreme fear zone and everybody believes it's over, then the market does the opposite. So China's central bank reaffirms crypto ban, flags stablecoin risk following multi-agency meeting. Now, if you've been around in the crypto market, this is like the millionth time they have banned crypto, right? I mean, at this point, it's ridiculous. I've been here since 2016, and it's so stupid, and people still fall for this stuff. But they've been banning crypto forever, yet Hong Kong, you can buy, sell, trade crypto, and China controls Hong Kong, right? So don't fall for it, guys. And there's also a lot of Tether FUD. Now that Bitcoin's down, oh no, is Tether going to be insolvent? Right. So that narrative is starting again. Again, we've seen it throughout this bull market. We've seen it throughout the years. It's just nonstop. So anyway, it's the bears and the people who are anti-crypto who are at it. So they're putting out their narratives, they're shorting and much more. There's also rumors that Microstrategy may have to sell, right? Where if their MNAV falls below a certain level, they're going to have to sell Bitcoin. And apparently Saylor, he tweeted out today about adding green dots to his chart, because typically he puts it out, the orange dots where they buy. So does green mean they're going to sell? I don't know, right? But anyway, there is a lot of FUD here that MicroStrategy is going to collapse and all that. So, but I don't think MicroStrategy is in that type of position. Remember, they came through the bear market in 2022. So they've experienced a lot more volatility and harsher environments when it comes to the market. But look, you never know, right? One of the things I am concerned about as it relates to MicroStrategy is the amount of debt they've raised, right? That's a lot of leverage. So I don't hope that anything bad to happen to them, but the amount of leverage, once again, that could put you in a very tough spot, especially people are coming after you, right? There's talks about JPMorgan trying to take down MicroStrategy. So we shall see. It's pretty nuts. You can imagine a lot of the Wall Street firms, they may not like what MicroStrategy is doing, especially like, for example, BlackRock and a bunch of others have issued ETFs. They would rather people invest in the ETFs where they're making the most money, right? We just reported that BlackRock's executive said the Bitcoin ETFs have been the highest revenue generator for the company. So let's see what happens. And I don't think MicroStrategy is in a place where they're going to collapse. I think they may have to sell, maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see what the big announcement is tomorrow. Now, I mentioned JP Morgan. Look at this news. JP Morgan has bought over $300 million of BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF IBIT. So they are investing in the ETFs. They're offering it to their wealth clients. They're tokenizing. They're doing a lot with crypto. So they have exposure to Bitcoin through 332.8 million IBIT shares, 10.7 million IBIT shares externally managed, 67.8 million IBIT calls may be hedged. It looks like 133.3 million IBIT puts also may be hedged. So pretty incredible what these guys are doing here. And look, it's all the major banks. They're all jumping in now. Folks, this episode is brought to you by Trezor, which is the maker of beautiful hardware wallets that make it easy for you to self-custody your crypto assets. I'm a user of the Trezor Safe 5 and the Trezor Safe 7. The Trezor Safe 7 is a new device that was released just a couple of months ago. It is quantum ready. It has top of the level security and new design and much more. And Trezor offers support for all the major crypto assets. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, even new tokens like BlackRock's BUIDL and much more. And they have a great software suite that helps you to manage all this and to buy and sell within that app as well. And you can use Trezor's hand-holding service if you need help to set up your device. So they offer a service where you can talk to a Trezor rep. Don't worry, they don't ask you for your private keys. So once again, I'm a user of the product, and Trezor, their hardware wallets are open source. They are the ones who started this back in 2013, and they created a seed phrase setup. So the pedigree here is incredible. They started it all. And folks, right now they have a great Black Friday sale going on. It ends December 3rd, where you can get 40% off their devices. So great deals. This is the time to get your device at a discount. You can get some bundles and much more. It's pretty great. A lot of discounts. So check it out. So visit their website to learn more. Link will be in the description. Now, folks, Elon Musk is starting to talk about Bitcoin again. And you may say, well, what's the significance of this, Tony? Well, let's go back in history a bit, right? So you know what's happening. Elon holds Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin. He's very bullish, right, on those. Tesla and SpaceX both have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And he was recently interviewed and he talked about Bitcoin as a true currency based on energy. And he's saying you can't legislate energy. Let me play the clip for you.
Currencies, if you will, that are physics-based. So energy is the true currency. This is why I said Bitcoin is based on energy. You can't legislate energy. You can't just, pass a law and suddenly have a lot of energy. It's very difficult to generate energy, or especially to harness energy in a useful way to do useful work. So I think that probably we won't have money, and probably we'll just have energy, power generation as the de facto currency.
So there you have it, right? Now, Elon, being such a large figure in society, pop culture, and much more, when he's talking about certain things, the media runs with it, his followers and different people are going to pick up on it. And we saw this, it's kind of deja vu. We saw this in the 2020, 2021 bull market where, look, honestly, he contributed in helping to pump the market. So is he about to start this campaign again to talk about crypto and much more? It's possible. Obviously, I'm not banking on this as, this is the thing that drives the bull market. Of course not, but it adds to it. It's like adding fuel to the fire. I think the bigger items, of course, are liquidity opening back up because the Fed is ending QT. You got central banks around the globe are starting quantitative easing. And I believe the Fed here in the United States will have to return to quantitative easing sooner than later. Japan, for example, I reported to you guys this past week that they approved stimulus So I think we're going to see more central banks do that as a lot of countries are struggling. Same with the United States, and if we're not already in a recession, we're at the cusp of a recession. And you got the market structure bill, you got rate cuts continuing, you got Trump teasing the tariff stimulus checks, right? So we shall see. I don't know if that's going to absolutely happen, but I know the central banks have to return to money printing, and that's very good for risk assets. So let's see what Elon decides to do here and if he makes any other moves and how it impacts the market. But right now, folks, we're going to have to exercise a lot of patience. We're going to have to not invest with our emotions, right? Not look at the chart emotionally and just look at the macro and the data points and much more. Like I said, even though the price is dumping, right? If you look at the RSI and the MACD, you still have confirmation that we're escaping, going away from the oversold zone. Now, that doesn't mean Bitcoin can dump down, do a flash crash down to 77K before it moves up, right? Those things are on the table. So sometimes people want to know the exact thing that's going to happen, but no one has a crystal ball or a time machine for that matter. But we look at the different scenarios and we look at what has the higher probability of playing out. In my opinion, right now, this just looks like a retest, and I don't expect us to go lower, but we could. And we'll have to wait and see. But we got to exercise a lot of patience. I know this is tough, guys. I know. Look, I have a portfolio. I want to see $130,000 plus in Bitcoin because I want to take profits at those prices and higher, of course. I want to see XRP, Solana, Ethereum surge to new all-time highs and much more. I'm with you. I got skin in the game, folks. So I'm here investing with you. I'm not just doing content. I am investing. I am looking to, I've said many times my financial plans very openly, right? And I'm waiting to do that. Now, I'm also mentally prepared and not being emotional that, hey, look, if I'm going to look at this from the macro, I have to be prepared for things to deviate and to take longer. So you got to have that in the back of your mind. But, the fundamental thesis here, guys, is that as long as central banks are printing money, asset prices will go up despite the short-term deviations and volatility, right? It's like the people who bought Bitcoin for $100 or whatever, and many of the big whales that were selling not too long ago, many of them were holding for like 10 years and longer. I'm not saying you're going to have to wait that long, but the point is, having that macro view and understanding how young this asset class is and it has the higher upside, it has outperformed other asset classes over the past 10 years and so forth. That's why a lot of big time traders are, getting in the market and looking to trade this asset class. So just make sure you have that foundational knowledge so that you can navigate the waters. Now, look, if you are in desperate need of money and you need to liquidate at prices which, you're making some money, but it's not your ideal price point, then you got to do what you got to do, right? We all got to live. This is life. So, do what's best for you, right? I'm not telling you not to sell. I'm not telling you to sell. Just do what's best for you. As I often say, I can't tell you what to do with your money, but I can just point you to the data and the facts and the charts and say, hey, this is where we're at. And we're going to have to exercise a lot of patience here because it's pretty rough, man. I have to admit it is rough and it's a big deviation from, how we've seen things historically. But I'm not losing hope and I'm not sad. I'm not depressed. I'm just kind of more annoyed, if you know what I mean, right? It's like, oh, come on, man. Let's get this show on the road, right? But this year has been very volatile with the tariff situation at the beginning of the year. I've been saying that thing shift the timeline. Then you had more news pop up like in October with that big leverage flush out. Then you had the US government shutdown, all these things. And look, the other markets were affected, right? The stock market went down. And so it's not just crypto, but crypto's taking the brunt of it, the big beating here. So lots of patience, guys, lots of patience. And we're going to continue to monitor the data and see how things play out. Folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. A great way to support the podcast is by subscribing to my free email newsletter. I will be putting out a write-up tomorrow. So check it out. It's on Substack. It's 100% free. Also, check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. and my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you everything you need to know about crypto. And right now, we got a Black Friday Cyber Monday deal going on where you can get 40% off of the one-time fee, which is lifetime access. And it's the code THINK, THINK, that you can use at checkout to get 40% off. So once again, get 40% off using the code capital THINK, think, to get 40% off. So check it out, folks, and go to mycryptocourse.com. Folks, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.